I think he was brilliant. He has done a lot of things in his professional life. He contributed a lot to grow up the image of the media in Kyrgyzstan, in a lot of places. And he was very, I really think he was brilliant, a great man. And he has done a lot, even when he was working in Ukraine. Everywhere he went, he had a great audience. People really liked him very much for his work, for his personality. He was someone who was a lot of humor, a lot of things. First of all, he has been a journalist in Geneva. He has been working for a newspaper which name is Le Courrier, and he left to go to Balkan. But when he was in Balkan, he was not a journalist. He was he works for the Red Cross, International Red Cross. So he gives support to the people who suffered for the war. And after that, he came back in Geneva. He works again for the same newspaper, which is Le Courrier. And after that, he thought it was too close environment for him. So he wanted to expand, and he built a society which gave him the way to go to Kyrgyzstan and to teach journalism in Kyrgyzstan for about 10 years. And when he came back in Geneva, he wrote an article, but it was an independent journalist. So he wrote article and he do some mission for journalism. And then he went in Ukraine. First for the Red Cross, and after that for the OSCE in Donbass, and after that in Odessa. Everything he has done was very deep, and he went very deeply in the things. He always wanting to do the most interesting things. So he was very going deeply in everything he was interested to. So he has done a lot of research, but we don't have record of this. After the research, he write articles, and maybe I can find a few of them, but I don't have a record of everything he has done, even if he has done a lot. Probably the most important one was about ethical, how a journalist has to be correct about the moral, about everything when he write an article. Probably for journalism, his major contribution was the work he did in Kyrgyzstan, and which implied concern everyone in East Asia, because every year he teach a seminary, lessons to 20 journalists from every country of East Asia. So in this field, I think his contribution was very, very important. Maybe I can tell about his contribution in my life, because we had many conversations together, and every time he helped me to understand the world, to understand the situation, the political situation, and he opened my mind and he made me discover of a lot of realities, because I've been to visit him in Kyrgyzstan or in Ukraine, in Kiev, in Odessa. So without him, I would never have been in touch with this kind of reality. So that was, and it was very important to many people, to many of his friends, to give clarifications about the world, about the politics, and he was very, very fond of this kind of conversation. So that was very, very nice. We had, and he had with a few close friends, very, very interesting conversation about the world, about how to be a good person in the world, how to avoid corruption, this kind of thing. And he has a very strong integrity in his life, in what he thought, in everything. Probably first of all from Kyrgyzstan. When he was in Kyrgyzstan, he was very interested in East Asia history. And after a few years, he had a few very good friends in Kyrgyzstan. But after a few years, he was very, very sad because the situation of Kyrgyzstan, according to him, could not improve that much because it was very difficult for economical reasons, for corruption, politicians' corruption also. And when he came in Ukraine, he was very interested about the culture. He learned. He was first of all, even more than a journalist. He was a polyglot. He was speaking a lot of languages, French, of course, Italian, which is our mother language, German, English, but also Serbian and also Russian perfectly well. When he was in Kyrgyzstan, he taught in Russian, and he was good, I think, in Ukrainian language too, because he was very, very interesting in the people. So for him, it was very important to be able to speak with the person he was in touch. So he do a lot of work to learn very well a lot of languages. So when he went in Ukraine, first he was for the Red Cross in Kiev, and it was when there was the Maidan problem, revolts, and he was very interested in it. And when he came back for the OSCE, first he was in Donbass, and the reality for him was very interesting, but it was a difficult time in his life because the situation was very difficult for everyone, for the people, and also for the person who works with him. But it was very interesting about the political relation Ukraine and Russia, of course, in the Donbass, and also for all the problem around the language. Was it possible to continue to teach Ukrainian, or the Ukrainian people had to learn or to study in Russian also? All this question was very important for him. I think, first of all, he was interested in journalism because through journalism, he can be in touch with everyone, with every problem. So he was really curious of everything, everyone. So journalism, I think, was the job, the profession, which can help him to be in contact with the world, to understand the world, the small situation in a town, but also the big situation in a country and in relationships through countries, through the world. He was interested in geopolitical issue, in everything, I think. So that's why he chose journalism. But journalism, you should know, you will know, is difficult to. It's difficult to live, to have a life through journalism, because I don't know, when he began to be a journalist in Geneva, there were maybe 4 or 5 newspapers in Geneva. Now there is only 2 newspapers. So a lot of journalists had no job anymore. So it's difficult. So he found a way to teach what was very important for him, ethical in journalism, and that was, so in Kyrgyzstan, that was for him very important. And probably also because he wanted to be independent. He was a free mind. He was very, so it was very difficult for him to have someone who tell him what to do, how to do things. So independence was also very important for him. In childhood, his first interest was sport, basketball. He has been a very good player in basketball. In a team in Switzerland, in Neuchâtel, which is the town where we were born. And he was very, very good. When he was young, he was a very, very good basketball player. And he was very interesting also in music. He played drums. He was very good in him. Everything he has done, he was very good. And then when he started to study sociology, but he didn't end it because he thought that the university teaching was too theoretical. So he went to journalism, which was very more practical and he was very fond of journalism. That was really what he wanted to do. For him, what was important is honesty, also he was very interesting in very smart people, very intelligent people. He likes a lot. He likes a lot to eat. He was a good cook too. To drink some wine with people and to talk. So that was very important for him, to talk about everything. You could talk with him. You could talk about everything. But what was important for him was really the political and social issue of the countries, of the world, etc. So when you spend an evening with him, obviously you will talk about politics, the world, or about yourself also. We had really important discussion also, but very personal, about our family, about everything is interesting about André, I think. So it's difficult. We've been living together for when we were a child and a teenager, so many years. So we spent a lot of time together and we were very close. So we have been talking about a lot of things. Maybe another of everyone, when he passed away, a lot of people write to us, to his family, and probably the most recurrent things about André was his sense of humor. He let everyone laugh again. He was very ironical and had a kind of look to the world which was always letting you laugh. So that was one of his great characteristics.